WrestleMania 6, would you say it was the biggest night of your career?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of great moments in my career, match-wise and stuff. If I sit down and made a list, I could think them through. But yeah, I mean, of course, it was a different time. Hogan was the guy. He never dropped the belt that way. Never dropped the belt.
When did you find out that they were going to go with you versus Hogan in a...
I don't know for sure. 3 or 4 months before that,
Right.
I remember I was at the studio in Stamford and doing a photo shoot for a lot of the merchandise that came out that time. And at the tail end of the photo shoot, Steve Taylor got a phone call to come see Vince in his office. I went over there and Hogan was there. And they said that this is what they were thinking about doing.
Right.
I didn't ask any other questions beyond that. I thought it was great. You know, it's awesome. I mean, there are all kinds of different steps that I was taking and becoming successful in the business that always kept me excited at the time. You know what I mean?
Right. They first teased the match at the Royal Rumble, where you and Hogan ended up in the ring by yourselves, and the match was every man for himself. So it was pretty rare that you would see baby faces in the ring against each other at that point. What was the crowd reaction like? Or was that
I don't know. I think, you know, I'm getting to a place in this interview where these questions they're sort of getting redundant. Like I'm supposed to, you know, every hair on my neck that went up on every match that I had, I'm supposed to remember it. A lot of that out there, and maybe a lot of the other people didn't look at it this way, and it sort of leaves me at odds with a lot of the talent that's out there today and wants to take every opportunity they can to criticize what I did in the business. It was a job. It was a goal for me to achieve, and every time I got in the ring or went to a town or every big pay-per-view or every big, you know, this Royal Rumble thing that you're talking about, it's about doing your job. And maybe that's not as warm-hearted as people would like for me to remember it. But
a lot of pressure going into WrestleMania 6, knowing that you were going to be carrying the entire company.
Carrying the entire company. Come on, there's a lot of people that make it work. Look, I've been defensive over the years when people start to say that Titan made the Ultimate Warrior. That's bullshit. People can't make what this thumbprint makes me as the person able to pull off the Ultimate Warrior. Right. But it's a two-way street, and I've never denied that. But you know, I never looked at it in those terms. I think probably Hulk and those guys did. And I think that's because they were trying to make themselves out, you know, I mean, there are a lot of different people that make the business work.
This match you have to have memories of. So what was it like being in front of 60,000 people and being the first person in the modern era of wrestling to pin Hogan cleanly?
Well, I mean, it's awesome to be able to go out and perform at that level in front of that many people in a match that had the kind of chemistry it did and stuff. Will I ever be able to remember it exactly like it happened that night? I don't think so. But it was, you know, everything worked. You know, not just to have gotten to that place in my career as the Ultimate Warrior and had a match with Hulk Hogan, even if the finish was different, would have been something in itself. But the fact that the finish was the way it was, the fact that the chemistry was the way it was, that time in the history of sports entertainment, WWF, the way it was, that time, place in history, I mean, all of it it was magic.